To my mother's surprise, Josh was here. She had expected me to call the moment my water broke. In fact, to this day, she's still mad that I didn't tell her I went into labor. My father, too. Eventually, they got excited about their new grandson. Josh was happy and healthy and adorable. No matter what the weather, I always took Josh outside. He loved his little umbrella stroller, and he and I roamed all over the city of brotherly love. When I didn't have other plans, I walked over to John Wanamaker's and slowly made my way through the first floor to the elevators. I almost never made it through the store without some blue-haired old lady stopping to admire my little baby. Josh seemed to like all the attention, too. I don't have many memories of Josh's first year. The days I remember I treasure. I hold on to them like precious jewels. My overall impression looking back is a time of peaceful, uneventful days, taking care of Josh and not much else. Right after he turned 1. I remember that it was April 1st. I was undressing him and noticed red spots on his chest. I immediately called the doctor. An allergic reaction. I said, I hope so. When I got to the doctor's office, the nurse asked me to undress him. Josh's chest, stomach, groin, and thighs were all covered in the same red spots. I showed the nurse, who immediately called for the doctor. Now, there were a number of possibilities, but the doctor said he will know more when he looks at the blood sample, and the doctor wanted to see if he was anemic anyway. As he's about to exit, he then remembers something. We won't be giving him the measles shot today. One of the possibilities is a virus, and we don't want him fighting a virus and the measles at the same time. In a few moments, the doctor entered again. We need to get Josh dressed and send him to Jefferson Hospital. More tests will be needed, but please don't worry, as many of the possibilities are not critical. Some possibilities are a virus, an allergic reaction, some kind of blunt trauma, and leukemia. Leukemia. I raced to Jefferson Hospital, where I faced a barrage of questions.
Where do your parents live? Does your husband work in the city? When is your husband coming? Can he get here any sooner?
I felt so hopeless. My husband can get here after work. Sometimes he works quite late because he is a lawyer.
When is your husband coming? I have other cases and I need to go. I don't want to waste time telling you separately what is happening.
David arrived.
Finally, you got here.
David was quite surprised, not understanding the immediacy of this situation.
We have to move quickly. Your son has leukemia, and if we don't start treatment immediately, he will die.
The nameless doctor brought me and Josh into the procedure room.
We're going to do a bone marrow test. I need you to constrain Josh. If you let him move, the result will be paralysis.
That bastard of a doctor brought me into the procedure room and told me nothing about what was going to happen. I realized the nurses were begging him to get me out of there, but I thought the doctor was right. I mean, if something was going to happen to Josh, I should be there, right? I held Josh in an awkward position as the nurses prepared him for the procedure. The menacing-looking nameless doctor hovered over the preparation procedure. Please, can the nurse hold him? I don't think I can do this.
No, make sure you hold him tight.
I woke up my father, who started crying when I told him. He asked me if Josh was in any pain. I looked into the crib. No, Dad, he seems fine. Then my mother got on the phone and asked what she could do. My mother, who was crying, takes the phone. I just told her, nothing. I don't know what I could do either. We'll be starting treatment soon. We'll be in the hospital for quite a while, and I will call you with any news. That was the worst phone call I ever had to make. I'm sure Josh's dad went through the same hell telling his mother. Esther and Jerry did show up later that afternoon, but David just went down to the lobby and talked to them for a few minutes. They just made a 2-hour trip, and we didn't even think of letting them stay in our apartment or finding them a place to stay. David knew I couldn't handle seeing anyone, and I would not leave Josh. They just turned around and went home. I'm sure the feeling of helplessness was overwhelming for them. In a way, not having family around allowed us to concentrate on Josh. I didn't have to put on a brave face or anything. I didn't have to repeat the ugly things we were hearing. I think David felt the same way. We used all our resources for Josh. The floor nurse got back to us.
Maybe you both should go home and get some clothes and toys together for Josh. Having familiar things around him would ease him. And get some things for you. You'll be here for a while, too.
As we left, I screamed up to the heavens. Why have you let me down? I yelled at some old woman with an awkward look. My little boy has leukemia. Unbeknownst to us, there was a subterfuge going on around us. Our social worker named Jan was working behind the scenes.
I spoke with a woman named Dr. Travis at Jefferson. There's a 1-year-old just diagnosed with leukemia. The current doctor has terrible bedside manners and has been incredibly unprofessional. I've already talked to both parents and they would like to meet you. I'd like you to meet Dr. Susan Travis. She's the pediatric hematologist I mentioned to you. Now, normally we couldn't and shouldn't try to get you away from your current doctor, but in this case, he is an adult oncologist, and Susan treats children with blood disorders.
I think his mother and I both have the concern that we don't want him to live a life in pain and suffering. Wouldn't it be better to just...
Oh no, he's not going to die. He needs medicine to fight the leukemia. The first treatment will be done in the hospital, then he'll come to the clinic once a week.
We learned from Dr. Travis that sometimes when a patient has those little red spots, it means the blood count is low. But in Josh's case, his count was normal, so that was not the reason for the spots. Those spots caused our pediatrician to take notice and not give him the measles shot, which would have killed him, as his immune system, already overloaded with cancer cells, would have never been able to deal with the live measles virus. We will both always remember how Susan told us it was serendipitous that he had those spots, which were most likely from a virus. Serendipitous.
Other families went through the same as us, hoping for a cure. Josh was part of a first wave of new medicine. The children, including Josh, were all very courageous. Marge McKenna was the mother of a boy named Matthew who died of leukemia when Josh was a patient. Marge and her husband had already lost another son, and when Matthew died, the father lost his will to live and died of a broken heart. Eventually, Marge passed away as well. We went to the clinic for 8 years and saw many children pass away. Josh surviving is nothing short of a miracle.
You're a pro at this now, Josh. You're not going to give us a hard time today, right?
I wish he wouldn't fight the doctors.
He's not fighting the doctors. He's fighting the cancer.
I hope he didn't give you too much of a fight this time.
I think he wanted to get this part of his life over with already. That's his way of saying goodbye to it, once and for all.
You hear that, Josh? No more treatments. It's all over.
I was 8 years old when I went into remission for cancer and when I stopped going to the clinic. At age 23, I moved to Tucson, Arizona with my parents. The next year, I was in Los Angeles and I got in a major car accident.
Oh my God, what's happening? Are you okay? What did they say?
Nothing is broken, but there's some really bad news to tell you. I don't know if I can.
Just tell me.
It's really hard to say it.
Say it fast.
The doctors found a tumor in my head. I'm looking at it on the x-ray right now.
Oh my God. They found a tumor in his head. I'm coming out there.
Mom, there's nothing we can do right now. I'll stay at my friend's house tonight and catch a plane back tomorrow. I'll let you know. Are you going to call Dad?
Yes, but let me know if anything changes. I don't know if I can sleep tonight. Give me Danny's number again. Will you be okay?
I don't know. I think I could catch a flight tomorrow. On the plane the next day, I sat amongst a cabin of strangers, all with their own problems. Even amongst a cabin of people, I could not help feeling extremely alone.
Hi, sweetie. How are you doing?
Fine.
Yeah, it must be tough to know what you're about to go through. Are you handling it okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, you seem to be doing well. I don't think I could be nearly as positive about it as you are. What are you typing?
I'm just writing.
Can I see?
Sure.
You know, Josh, it's okay to let go. I don't know how you can be an atheist at a time like this and be so all alone. You have to open up and accept that there's something bigger than you. Let yourself open up. Look at all that's happened to you. You have to believe someone's looking out for you.
Someone decided to not look out for the other kids? Someone picked me?
That's not what I mean.
That's what you're saying. If somebody's looking out for me, then he's not looking out for other people. I don't want that kind of responsibility. I don't know why I survived while all those other kids died. Why Grandpa died.
Grandpa was a great man, but he smoked and he ate the wrong kinds of foods. He didn't take good care of himself. When Grandpa found out he had cancer, I bought him books like Moby Dick and told him when he reads it, think of Moby Dick as your cancer. When you read it, think of it like it's your fight. And Grandpa fought for 10 years. He gave us all plenty of time to get ready for him to go. Little Julie and I were there, rubbing his arms, touching his face, telling him we love him. He led a great life.
I miss him. I think about him a lot.
Me too. Sometimes I talk to him.
Yeah?
Yeah. You've gone through so much before. You have an excellent doctor, one of the top in his field.
3 weeks later, I had my first brain surgery to remove the tumor. I'm sorry to put everyone through this. I didn't want to worry everyone.
You shouldn't be worried about us. We'll be okay.
Yeah, don't worry about us. We don't have the hard part.
Tell everyone I love them. Tell them thank you for the cards. And tell John and Becky I love them.
Oh, Josh, honey, you're the strongest person I have ever known. You are the single most important person in my life right now. You have shown me more about strength and character in difficult situations than anyone I know. You have given all of us a wonderful gift. This is only a minor setback. It's really minor. And when it's all over, you will show us all again what it means to be a survivor.
The operation was successful. Your tumor is gone. How are you feeling, young man?
Hey, John.
Hey,
I don't know what to do now.
you've got a nice family. Sarah and Sawyer are beautiful. Liz loves you.
I feel like I should have accomplished so much more by now.
What about me? I haven't had all those things happen. What's my excuse?
John, what kind of miracle did I turn out to be? They lied. My family and friends told me there was a special reason for me to be here. They told me someone had to be looking out for me. There's no special reason. They told me what I needed to get through it. They lifted me up and gave me strength. No one came to me later and said, "We told you things you needed to hear, but some of it may not be true. You still have to go out in the world, get a job, and pay bills."
And you look at your wonderful family, right? And you find the reason?
The family is great, but everyone has a child. Sarah and Sawyer aren't saving anyone's life. I'm not saving anyone.
Now you're pissing me off.
What?
How many people did you save by going through those treatments?
I don't know.
How many people lived because they were inspired by you?
No one.
How many parents found strength in your story?
But that's a choice. That's not a special reason. It's a choice.
Not everyone has that choice, Josh. I don't have that choice. I can't show people how to live. I can't show them how to survive. Just one person. I can't save one person. You can. So you don't believe in God. So what? So you write a book and you show parents how to be strong. A parent just finds out their child has leukemia. Who do they talk to? Where do they go? A kid in college finds out he has a brain tumor. You talk to him. You show them how to live. That's your reason. That's your purpose. And that's why you're here. And someone else will be inspired and share what they know because of you. You start these little sparks all over. Tiny sparks all over the place. Did you go through all that for nothing?
No.
That's your choice.
Come here. Give me a hug. I learned in therapy that what I have is survivor guilt. Ever since I was young, I wondered why I survived. Now I know it was luck and coincidence. I don't have to do anything special like making a huge impact on the world just because I survived. Being special means being here right now, giving love and being loved. I'm grateful to all the doctors and scientists who work every day trying to make more and more survivors.